Good day and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing one of my favorite things to watch, Am I the Asshole? Judge Burke presiding. I got my gavel and I am ready to go. I'm on Reddit right now, so grab your beverage of choice. Today I have a Celsius. I've heard a lot of interesting things about Celsius. Sparkling kiwi guava flavor. What an interesting one. Ready? Oh yeah. Let's taste it. Oh, it's really good. Yeah, that's really good. Awesome. And we're just going to dive right in. So we're just on the Am I the Asshole Reddit page. And we're just going to see what sounds good because I don't want to do things that are archived or things that other people are doing. I want to do something right away. Okay, let's do this one. Am I the asshole for making my boyfriend's mom cry because of a petty rule? Well, let's see. So me, 20 female, and my boyfriend, 24 male, have been together for almost 2 years and live together. His mother is very involved in his life. Some might say overbearing, but I try to be respectful. She's nice, but has this way of pushing boundaries while acting like she means well. So the issue. I have a no shoes in the house rule. My boyfriend's cool with it. All my friends do it, no problem. But his mom refuses. She claims it's rude to ask guests to take their shoes off and that it makes her feel disrespected. I've tried explaining that it's just a cleanliness thing, but she won't budge. Last weekend, she came over and, surprise, surprise, walked in with her shoes on. I very politely, I swear, said, "Oh, can you take them off, please?" She kind of huffs and is like, "You're really going to make me do this?" And I just stood there waiting. She sighs dramatically, takes them off, and spends the whole visit sulking. I then later get a text from my boyfriend's dad saying I made her cry. And she feels like I'm trying to assert dominance over her in her son's house. Our home, actually. My boyfriend is on my side, but now his parents are acting like I've disrespected the Queen of England. Am I the asshole for standing my ground on this very normal rule? Absolutely not. Okay, I live in Canada. Here in Canada, you take your fracking shoes off. You take your shoes off. Even on TV, it takes me out if I'm watching a movie or if I'm watching a TV show and there's people with their shoes that come in and sit on a couch or put their feet up on a couch. I watch Smosh, who reads Am I the Asshole constantly, and there's a bunch of people on Smosh who put their shoes on the couch. They sit on the couch and put their shoes on the couch and it drives me nuts. It's dirty. I'm hoping, in my mind, I'm they have house shoes there, guys. I need to put my chair up. I feel like you can't see me at all. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's better. See, right in the middle of the screen. Okay. Also, it's your house. It's your house. This literally sounds like a mother-in-law that will give you hell for the rest of your entire life. She's going to be a mother of hell during the wedding. She's going to be a mother who tells you that you're parenting wrong. She's going to be a bad mother-in-law the entire time. And it's the fact that she cried, grow up. Grow up. If your boyfriend's 24, say you had a kid when you're 20, this woman's 44 and she's crying about having to take her shoes off. I guarantee at least one of her friends makes her take her shoes off when she goes into her friend's house. Actually, the way she's acting, she probably doesn't have any friends. So there you go. Also, she feels disrespected. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sounds like you're just looking for something to be disrespected about. Let's see what everyone else has to say. Not the asshole. If your boyfriend is aligned, how is he handling the situation? I'd expect him to call them and shut it down. The dad shouldn't be attacking you and your boyfriend should be standing up for you. Sounds like he agrees, but what is he doing to solve the issue? And then OP messages back and says he's pretty nonchalant about it. He understands she's overbearing and rude, but annoyingly doesn't share my frustration with her attitude. Then this person messaged back and said, then you need to make it his problem as well. Tell him how upset you are, how disrespected you feel that she can't follow this one simple rule, and that actually, given the dad's words, it seems like her refusing is her attempt to assert dominance of you in your own home, even down to them saying that it's her son's home. Explain to him that you have to put up with enough at this point, and either he steps in and shuts it down, or she's not welcome in the house and you'll start handling it, and it won't be by being nice. Nip this in the bud unless you want it to get worse, basically. You said try to be respectful. Stop that. She doesn't deserve the level of respect you're giving her. Respect is earned and mutual. I agree, but it's also really like, don't be a bitch to your boyfriend about it. Like, understand that if you stay with your boyfriend, this is going to be something that's probably going to happen a lot. Like, people just don't change. Like, my mom says often, she's like, I'm 60. I'm never going to change at this point in time. And I'm like, all right, girl, sure. So I just take what I want, leave what I don't. And I don't live there. I don't live in Calgary. And it's a better relationship, the fact that we're far away. So, I mean, this is something you will have to put up with. And is your boyfriend worth it? If he's not having your back now, I guarantee that your conversation with him isn't going to make him have your back as it goes on. But you are not the asshole. Not the asshole. Judgment presiding, Laura Burke. Here we are. And let's do another one. All right, we're going to be doing this 8 days ago. Am I the asshole for avoiding my mom after she told me to suck it up when I broke my fingers? This sounds like my mother. I was at the gym where a heavy weight fell on 3 of my fingers on my left hand. I was in such severe pain that I thought I was going to pass out. While sobbing, I called my mom as I'm in college and far away from home. I told her that I thought I broke my fingers and that I wanted to go to urgent care. My mom has never been empathetic for physical injuries and mental health issues. When she heard me, she told me to suck it up and rest. I figured I would wait a while. Who knows, she could be right. Edit, I feel that I should mention that my fingers did not look deformed, so other than bruising and swelling, I was unsure if they were broken or not. While waiting, my roommate came home and saw the state I was in. She took one look at my hand and assured me that we had to go to urgent care. I didn't want to betray my mom because she always said to never go to the ER or urgent care due to our terrible insurance. However, I went and researched the cost of an out-of-pocket x-ray at the nearest urgent care, and it was only $200, which I was willing to pay. I told my mom this, and she said, you better hope your fingers aren't broken. You better hope your fingers are broken or else I'm not helping you pay for anything. Guys, my mom said this to me. Literally. I'm going to tell the story after. So I was under a weird circumstance where I hoped my fingers were broken for the sake of saying I told you so to my mom. I finally went to urgent care and got an x-ray. They confirmed that both my pointer finger and my middle fingers were broken and may need surgery if not healed properly. When I called my mom back later that day and told her the news, she basically laughed and told me that I should be glad that they were broken. 3 weeks have gone by and I have not spoken to her since. She texted me and asked for updates on my finger, but I feel conflicted on why she's suddenly acting like she cares when she clearly didn't in the first place. She's also not someone that you can easily share your feelings with, so I'm not sure how to go about our next conversation. Should I just ignore it or should I try to bring it up to her? Edit, I was not expecting the overflow of not the asshole comments, and I have gotten asked about why I believe I am the asshole. I spoke to my brother about it, and he told me that I was overreacting and that she just wants to check up on me and probably feels bad for diminishing my issues. There is a lot to unpack here. Obviously, this guy's not the asshole, and my poor mother, a good thing she doesn't watch my YouTube channels because she has definitely done this exact same thing. When I was younger, I don't know how old I was. I'm so bad with stuff like this. I was probably like 11 or 12 and I was walking my dog, but I was on a bicycle. So I think I was with my friend Brett, RIP, and I wrapped my dog's leash around the handlebars of the bike, and the dog, who was like a puppy, obviously like saw a freaking squirrel and just was like, squirrel, and then like swooped off, and I fell down and I broke my hand. And I went back to my house. Oh no, come on. Isn't this cute? It's not bright enough for my liking. Anywho, I went back to my house and I was like, Mom, I broke my wrist. I need you to take me to the hospital. And my mom was like, ugh, you didn't break your wrist. You're just fine. You're not crying barely at all. And I was like, Mom, seriously, like you have to take me to the hospital. Like I broke my wrist. And she was like, if I take you to the hospital and your wrist isn't broken, you're going to be in so much trouble. And sure as shit, she took me to the hospital. My wrist was broken. And I think she probably felt bad after that. But like my mom's also very, like, my mom's great. Don't get me wrong. I freaking love my mom. But she's also like really not empathetic for mental health issues either, which I don't have any of those. I'm perfectly sane and not mental at all. But this is, I don't know if this is a product of like their upbringing. Like my grandmother and my grandfather were not empathetic, really. And I am not like I think I'm empathetic. Anywho, I don't know if it's a product of her upbringing or what, but this is something that my mother would be doing. And obviously you're not the asshole because you broke your fingers. And if you have to go to the hospital, then get better insurance. Like, that sucks if you have shitty insurance. I have pretty shitty insurance, but I mean, it's your kid. Like, you gotta be like, fix your fingers, you know? So, not the asshole. I don't know why I always go into a British accent when I say not the asshole. I think it's so much fun. Did you know that my boyfriend's English? I bet you did if you watched this. Celsius is delightful and delicious. Who's that? Let's see who that is. Hello? I get calls every goddamn day. Every day from a random British Columbian number. And it really annoys me. Let's turn this phone on silent, shall we? Shall we? All right. Let's keep going. What do we have here? Ooh, let's do Bridezillas. Yeah, let's do a Bridezilla one. Am I a Bridezilla for telling my mom I will not change the wedding venue to make her less uncomfortable? I don't know. Let's see. I am getting married! Exclamation point. I just purchased a home, so my wedding budget is as tiny as possible. With the house in mind, I made our small budget very clear with my family, as I did not want certain costly requests being made during the wedding planning process. My main priority for the wedding is to have people I love there, immediate family and friends. My paternal grandmother graciously offered her beautiful home and backyard garden to be the venue for our wedding. She also said that she would contribute to some of the wedding necessities, which will greatly help the budget. This would allow for my grandfather to attend, who is physically unable to travel far. Also, the location would allow for some of my extended family who live nearby to attend at minimal cost. So the guest list would be around 40-ish. Now, a little backstory. My parents got divorced when I was in elementary school, and since then, my mother has become more distant both geographically and emotionally. I probably see her 3 times a year. We still text on occasion, and every few years, we may go on a trip. A week or 2 ago, I was talking to my mom about wedding plans, and when she found out the venue was going to be at my paternal grandmother's home, she became very upset. She stated that it was odd, that she didn't think she or her side of the family could or would go because she doesn't consider herself close with my paternal grandmother. Edit, and also being uncomfortable around the rest of my dad and her ex's side. To note, her side of the family speaks little English, so they would require a translator to attend, which would be my mom. I explained to her that the guest list would be similar no matter the location, that she wouldn't be sleeping there, and that it is one day. I also explained to her that my paternal grandfather cannot travel far and that my budget is tight for this wedding. She said she doesn't think she should go and continued to state to think about how we feel. I was then left with silence. I feel like the only solution that would make her happy is if I paid for a wedding venue that is neutral ground. But again, that's expensive as heck. And I don't want to pay all that money to make one person feel less uncomfortable and then potentially risk not having the people I love there. However the scenario, I am placed between choosing my grandfather or my mom and her side of the family. I'm conflicted. Am I a bridezilla? Also, if you have any recommendations on how I can approach this conflict with my mom, I would greatly appreciate it. There's so much more written here, but I'm not going to go on and on and on because it's like edits. So, obviously you're not the asshole. It's ridiculous. I mean, a wedding must happen every day in life. And there's got to be a bunch of things that make people uncomfortable. Like, you're never going to have a wedding that everyone is extremely happy with. Like, when I got married, my mother-in-law at the time, evil mother-in-law, may I add, she said she wouldn't go unless it was at her house. And so we made it at her house. And then she demanded that we not have meat there because she was a vegetarian or a pescatarian. And then we did that. Oh man, it was awful. Anywho, suck it up, mom. Like, my parents are divorced. They've had to go to multiple occasions constantly that the other is at, and you just have to learn to be with each other. Like, this is your daughter. That, like, unless someone was like physically abusive to you, you go to the wedding. You go, hi, nice to see you again. Great, hope you're doing well. Small talk, and move on with your life, mom. Not the asshole. Also, this woman, like, she's like, think about how we feel. This is your wedding. No, I'm not going to be thinking about how you feel at all. Actually, I'm thinking about how I feel. And the money. Do you want to fork out all the money for a venue? Because then we can have a serious conversation about it. Ooh, we got another wedding one on Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to move my wedding date because my sister decided to file for divorce the same weekend? What do you think? I'm going to say no. Focus. I am a camera. Back here, camera. Back here, camera. There we go. There we go. So I, 28 female, I'm getting married in 6 months. We booked the venue over a year ago, sent out save the dates, everything is locked in. My sister, 32 female, on the other hand, just announced she's officially filing for divorce. And apparently, she's decided to do it on the same weekend as my wedding for symbolic reasons. She already sounds like a dick. Like, come on. Really? You don't even need to announce that you're filing for it. You can tell your family that you're separated from your husband and move on with your life until the wedding's over. And then you don't even need to tell somebody your divorce date. I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in my immediate family or friends who are divorced, and I couldn't tell you one of their divorce dates. I couldn't even tell you when I got divorced. I literally could not tell you the day that I got divorced. Couldn't tell you. No idea. Anywho, she says that she wants a fresh start and doesn't want to drag things out any longer, which, okay, I get. Divorce sucks. But now my mom is acting like her divorce is the bigger event that weekend. Her family sounds like assholes. She literally told me that I should consider rescheduling so that the family can be there for both of us. What is wrong with people's families? I was like, are you serious? My wedding has been planned forever. This is not some casual dinner reservation I can just move around. My sister could file her divorce papers anytime, but chose this weekend because it felt right for her. I told her that she was being selfish and making my wedding about her, and now she's crying to my mom about how I don't support her. My fiance and dad are on my side, good. But my mom and some relatives think I'm being heartless for not making space for her pain. I'm sorry, but who plans their divorce around someone else's wedding? Am I the asshole for refusing to reschedule because I feel like this is insane? This is insane. Oh, not making space for her pain. Shut the F up. This is not my job to take care of your pain. Like, that's not my job. This is my wedding, and you're making it about you for some horrible reason. And they don't even have to be said in the same sentence. Like, why would you file for divorce on the same weekend as your sister's wedding? The only reason I can think of is to take away attention. Like, you want attention. You're like, I am a victim of this divorce. I need attention. Like, that's so awful and rude. Like, people's families suck. Like, this family sucks. Like, for the mom to ask to reschedule a wedding, if I was that mom, I'd be like, yeah, it sucks that you're getting divorced, daughter, but let's refocus on this is your sister's time. Like, this is a happy time, and it's better to pay attention to like happy things than negative things anyways, you know? Let's read some of the comments. Obviously, not the asshole, but let's read some of the comments. She has no money on the line, therefore she can kindly fuck off. What's the reason to have a fresh start and doesn't want to drag things out any longer? What's the reason to do it in 6 months? The real reason, because waiting 6 months contradicts her above statement. If she didn't want to drag it out, she'd be filing this weekend, not waiting 6 months until OP's wedding day. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. She's getting married in 6 months, And then she announced that she's officially filing for divorce, and she's waiting to do it on the same weekend as her wedding. She's waiting. God, that's so obvious. I'd be like, this is obvious. You're uninvited to my wedding. If you are waiting 6 months to file for divorce on my specific wedding, you don't give a fuck about me. You don't care about me at all. And fine, you don't have to come to the wedding. Bye, you're uninvited. Like, this is stuff that I would be like, we're not family anymore. You don't care about me. You care about yourself more. Oof, got me all riled up. Let's see. She probably imagines herself dancing out of the lawyer's office like Nicole Kidman did when she divorced Tom Cruise. Let me see if I can put the picture to here there. It's actually really funny. Oh, she hasn't even filed yet. That's beastly. So bizarre. It's the clerk who decides what day to file, and that's dependent on a number of issues, including whether or not both parties consent to the divorce and when both parties sign the documents. The OP sister seems to think this is going to be some theatrical production. Her attendance won't even be required. Great. So kindly go fuck yourself. Someone writes, yeah, this chick doesn't have a clue about the process. Her plan will not succeed, and OP will get the last laugh about the timing. Someone wrote, mine was super simple, so we had no lawyers, just filled out forms and dropped them off at the courthouse. I was only bummed I missed the finalization being on wedding day, on Valentine's Day. We put in the original papers and then had to file another one 6 months later that said it was still a thing. And then we got the divorce decree. This was 2002, 2003 though. Yeah, so for me, we had a separate, in Canada, you have to legally be separated for a year. So I filled out separation forms, mailed them to him. He signed them, he mailed them back. I got them notarized. And then a year later, I had a divorce lawyer just do our paperwork. Like, she gave us the paperwork. We filled out the paperwork. We went to a notary. I had to see him, which was awful. So we literally just went to this notary and signed this paperwork. I think it was the first time I saw him after we got divorced. And it was like, how are you? How are you? See you later. Bye. I've never seen him again since or heard from him. And I dropped them off at this divorce lawyer's, and that was that. And I couldn't even tell you what day that was. So obviously not the asshole. The family's the asshole here. God, families suck. My family's great. All right, next. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law that she can't bring her kids to my wedding because they ruined my engagement party? I'm going to go with no. Your prerogative. My fiance, 21 male, and I, 19 female. Wow, that's young to be married. 19 and 21. Whew. That is young. Are getting married in a few months. Good luck. We are planning a small, elegant wedding with close family and friends. From the start, we made it clear that our wedding would be child-free. Not because we don't like kids, but because we want a formal atmosphere without disruptions. Most of our family and friends were understanding, except for my sister-in-law, who has 2 kids, 4 male and 6 female. For context, sister-in-law has a habit of ignoring boundaries when it comes to her children. Great. At my engagement party last year, she brought them, despite the event being at a fancy venue with an open bar, within an hour. They'd knocked over a tray of champagne glasses, smeared cake all over a rented couch, and screamed throughout the speeches. I love my fiance's family, but it was embarrassing, and my sister-in-law just laughed it off, saying, they're just kids. This is bad parenting. If you let your children knock over a tray of champagne glasses, smear cake over a rented couch, and scream through speeches, that is bad parenting. I'm telling you right now. Those are creating entitled people who are not good, productive members of society. Yeah. So when we sent out wedding invitations, we included a polite note stating that it was an adults-only event. Sister-in-law called me immediately asking if we could make an exception for her kids. I calmly explained that we wanted a child-free wedding and reminded her of what happened at our engagement party. She got defensive, saying, they'll behave this time, I swear. I stood my ground and said, I'm sorry, but we're keeping it adults only. She hung up in a huff like this. Although this is, you can tell how old I am because I hung up like this. When really it's like this. Last weekend at a family gathering, she brought it up again in front of everyone, saying, I can't believe you're excluding your own niece and nephew from your wedding. Do you hate them or something? I firmly said, of course not. But this is our wedding and we want it to be the way that we planned. She got even more upset, saying I was being unreasonable and that family should come first. Now, my fiancé's caught in the middle. He supports me, but he also doesn't want to create a family feud. His mom has even suggested that we just let it go to keep the peace. But I feel like if I cave, it'll send the message that our boundaries don't matter. It will. So am I the asshole for refusing to allow my sister-in-law to bring her kids to the wedding after what happened to our engagement party? No. And this is another one of those examples of like, this is all... You're like, my fiance doesn't want to be caught in the middle. No, this is your fiance's job to deal with his family. This is his family. If you guys are on the same page, you're like, no, sister. Hey, sister. This, like, no, this is our, let him deal with it. Like, this isn't your job to be the go-between between his family and what you and your partner want for your wedding. This is his job. Let him deal with it. Be like, you got this? Perfect. So then he can be the bad guy, because it's easier for a family to like hate on the fiance, the partner, than it is to hate on like him, right? So let him deal with that. That's not your job. Like, and then it'll just get worse and worse. Like if you're 19 and you're having this much issues now, like it's just going to get worse when you have kids, like I said before. So let's see what the comments say. I bet the comments are going to say something like this too. Top 1% commenter. Now my fiance is caught in the middle. That's straight up a lie and bullshit. He has no balls and no spine. His entire family has zero respect for boundaries because they're too chicken shit to say a firm no. Good luck marrying into this mess. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Not the asshole and tell your spineless fiance that if they show up, you are leaving. It's that simple, and you will make a scene as well. Come on, cat. Where are you going? Or my cat just ran away. Someone wrote, they're young enough to find a partner with a spine. Someone else wrote, getting married at 19, ... Someone else wrote, I was engaged at 19 because we were stupid and so over dating. And then he moved and we came to our senses, and I'm so glad we did not get married. Someone else wrote, I was engaged at 19, also married at 21, still married to the same guy 53 years later. Yay! Good job. Good for you. Good for you. I love that. I had a hard time reading much past that. I can't even legally drink at your own wedding. That's so true. The age of drinking in BC, where we are, is 19. And where I grew up, it was 18, which I was way too young to be drinking at 18. I was a hot mess. Or it could have just been that I was a freaking alcoholic. So, not the asshole. I want one where someone is the asshole. Let's find one where someone's the asshole. Can we do that? I don't know how to use Reddit that much. Okay, this one looks really interesting, so we're gonna do this one. I don't know if this is the asshole. It seems automatically like not the asshole, but we're gonna see. Am I the asshole for refusing to invite my brother to my wedding after he started dating my ex? I, 27 male, am getting married in a few months to my fiance, Athena. What a pretty name. 26 female. We've been together for 3 years and I couldn't be happier. However, there's one major problem. My brother, Armando, these sound like fake names, 29 male, is dating my ex, Sarah, 27 female, who I was with for 5 years. Wow. Sarah and I had a serious relationship. We even talked about marriage. Then, 2 years before I met Athena, she suddenly dumped me out of nowhere. At the time, she told me she needed space and wasn't ready for a commitment. It sucked, but I moved on. Fast forward to a few months later, and I found out that she had actually left me to be with my brother. They had apparently been talking behind my back while we were still together, and as soon as we broke up, they made it official. My brother never told me about it. I had to hear about it from someone else. When I confronted him, he acted like it was no big deal, and you guys were already over, so what's the issue? What a jerk. What is up with these jerk-ass family members? That is awful. So that was the final nail in the coffin for my relationship with Armando. I went low contact with him and completely cut Sarah out of my life. Now, here's where the wedding drama begins. Armando assumed that he would be invited to my wedding since he was my brother. Well, you know what happens when you assume? You make an ass out of you and me. But when I sent out the invitations, his wasn't there. He called me up, furious, demanding to know why I wasn't letting go of the past, and he was choosing a wedding to be petty. I told him that this wasn't about being petty. This was about the fact that he had no respect for me when he got together with my ex. And I don't want him or Sarah at my wedding. My parents are begging me to reconsider, saying that family is family and that Armando regrets how things happen. Doesn't sound like it. They say that I'm being too harsh and holding a grudge will only hurt me in the long run. Athena is 100% on my side, as are most of my friends. But some family members think I should be the bigger person and let Armando come because it's just one day. So am I the asshole? No! Why is it always like other family members who are just like, let it go, let it slide, like let that person have their way? No! Why? Like, this is why people become assholes, because people let them be assholes. It's like someone's being an asshole and you're like, oh, just let them be an asshole. It's like confrontation's so much harder rather than just letting them be an asshole and get their way. No, like, you got to learn to be strong. Like, when did people become so weak to just let badness happen all around them? You got to stand up. You got to stand firm. Do not let this, like, first of all, like, how awful would that be if your brother essentially had an affair with your long-term partner and then she broke up with you and then they got together and he's like, bro, like, you guys were already broken up. Were we? Were we already broken up? Doesn't sound like it. Also, who gives a flying majobber? It's like bros before hoes. Okay, let's see what other people have to say. Ha ha ha. Absolutely do not invite them to your wedding. He is disloyal. It's brutal how family will try to manipulate you to make you move on from broken trust. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Family's about relationships, not DNA. Enjoy your day. Keep him at a distance. He might make a move on your wife too. Don't ever allow him and that trash of an ex nearby yours. Cut them off completely. Also, the OP wrote, my family has so many issues. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Ugh. There's a simple answer. You don't want your ex at your wedding, and you definitely don't want the guy she cheated on you with there also. The fact that the affair partner happens to share DNA with you is irrelevant. Also, I'd make it clear to your parents that by taking your brother's side on this, and they are taking his side, that they're showing you that you are not family, meaning that if you decide that you still want your parents to attend, they should be seated with the acquaintances you're not close to. God, family sucks sometimes. Thank God I have a great family, actually. Even though I talk shit about my mom this time. She's actually lovely. You are not the asshole. Oh, awful, awful, awful. Okay, we're going to do one more, guys. What? This one looks fucked up. Am I the asshole for walking out of a yoga class after the instructor hit on my daughter and kissed her? A yoga instructor kissed your daughter in the middle of a yoga class? That sounds super weird. My mom has been begging me to join her yoga class, so I agreed and I brought my daughter, 19 female, along. From the moment we walked in, the instructor, let's call him Chad, mid-40s, thinks he's some sort of spiritual guru, zeroed in on my daughter. He kept complimenting her energy and asking her deep, awkward questions about her soul connection. My deaf grandmother, 85 female, saw what was happening and signed to me that she thought that he was cute. Class starts and my grandma, who has no idea what's going on, starts doing her own random stretches in the back. Meanwhile, Chad keeps adjusting my daughter more than necessary, hands lingering way too long on her waist, whispering things like, relax, feel the flow. She looked super uncomfortable, but he didn't seem to notice. Then, after the class ends, as everyone's packing up, Chad grabs my daughter by the shoulder and leans in for what I can only describe as a full-on kiss on the cheek. My daughter was frozen, absolutely stunned, and I lost it. I rushed over, grabbed her, and I told Chad that he needed to back off. He just stood there smirking, acting like he'd done nothing wrong. I stormed out with my daughter and told my mom that we were never coming back to that studio. Now my mom is furious at me, saying that I'm being too dramatic. And my grandmother keeps signing, he had good energy, you should have let it go. What is wrong with these people? Saying, let it go, let it go, let it go. No, if you're passionate about something, you don't let it go. You don't let creepy 40-year-old Chad kiss your 19-year-old daughter when you see that she's looking uncomfortable. Like, you don't let it go. That's how predators happen. Like, come on here, come on. Update. Thank you all for your support. This morning I met the studio owner for the first time to discuss all of this. Good for you. She apologized sincerely and admitted that Chad's behavior has been excessively insistent, not only with my daughter, but even with her on previous occasions. She seemed very young herself. She assured me that she finds his actions completely unacceptable and plans to fire him as soon as possible. Good. I'm relieved that this issue is finally being taken seriously, and I will keep you updated. Good. Good for you. Like, can you imagine if this guy just continues to be able to like make women feel uncomfortable in this yoga studio? The business will suffer. People will feel sexually harassed. Like, good for this dad. Like, and these women are just like, yeah, you should have let it go. No. That's going to be the tagline for this. Don't let it go. Don't let it go. Not the asshole. Don't let it go. Okay, I lied. We're going to do one more. God, people are stupid. I'm so glad I'm not stupid. Oh, man, all of this just seems like asshole families. Okay, we're going to talk about another asshole family today because apparently that's just the vibe. That's just what's going on today. Am I the asshole for canceling my parents' 40th anniversary party after they refused to invite my wife? I'm going to go with a no. I, 32 female, have been with my wife, Emily. Oh, it's a lesbian relationship. Yep, not the asshole. I'm going to call it right now. Not the asshole. So I've been with my wife, Emily, for 5 years, married for 2. My parents have never fully accepted my relationship because they're, what's the word? Homophobic. Though they insist, they still love me. Oh, they still love you, even though you have a wife. Oh, how big for them. They didn't come to our wedding, claiming it was too painful for them. Oh, people suck. Like, literally, they didn't come to your wedding because it's too painful for them that you married a woman. Go fuck yourself. But I tried to move past it. Recently, they asked me to plan their 40th anniversary party. I handled everything: the venue, catering, guest list, decorations. I spent months making sure it would be a perfect night for them. But last week, when I went over to finalize my details, my mom casually said, "Of course, Emily won't be coming." You mean my wife? My wife won't be coming? Of course she is. That's what I would say. Let's see. I was stunned. I asked what she meant, and my dad chimed in saying that they didn't want any drama and just wanted a traditional family celebration. And I told them that if Emily wasn't invited, I wouldn't be coming either. My mom sighed and said, "We just don't want to make people uncomfortable." Maybe you shouldn't know people who are uncomfortable by a gay couple. How about that? How about you just have better people in your life than people who are uncomfortable with a gay couple? That broke me. Make people uncomfortable? My wife, who's done nothing but try to be polite to them, isn't welcome at a party that I organized because they're worried about appearances? I told them that if Emily wasn't welcome, neither was their party. I called the venue. I canceled everything. No caterer, no decorations, no celebration. My parents freaked out, saying I was being vindictive and punishing them for their boundaries. These aren't boundaries. These are terrible human things. My extended family is divided. Some say I was right to stand up for Emily, but others think that I overreacted and ruined something that wasn't about me. Why do you care about what other people think? A lot of this is caring about what other people think. Now my parents aren't speaking to me, and a part of me wonders if I went too far. You didn't. I wasn't trying to be cruel. You weren't. I just couldn't justify throwing a party for people who refused to accept my marriage. Good. Good for you. Am I the asshole for canceling the event? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. These are freaking homophobic people. Like, who, after you've been with your wife for 5 years, they're not going to let her come to their anniversary. Like, they're just bad people at this point in time. Like, don't be friends with bad people. Like, I know they're your family, but like, don't have that relationship with them. Like, have a distant relationship with them where you're like, yeah, I love you. You're my parents. I'm appreciative of what you gave to me, but this is you not accepting my wife. That's a bad thing. you're a bad person for that. So this is our relationship from now on. And if you want to make it better, then you have to work on it. I don't have to work on it because I did nothing wrong and my wife did nothing wrong. You have to work on it. See what the comments say. Not the asshole. I know they're your parents, but they can fuck right off with their homophobia. Hell yeah. OP says exactly. Why would they think after 5 years that they... Why would... You would think after 5 years that they could at least tolerate it enough to let her attend, but apparently they can't. Someone else wrote, you did the right thing. Sometimes we have to cut people when they can't accept the people that we love. I'm straight, but from a conservative family. My dad wouldn't accept my current husband because he believes divorce is not allowed. My stepmom thought my ex should still be invited to events, but didn't want my husband there. My ex-husband was abusive in every way, and they still thought that he should be welcome, but not the man who loves me and my kids and treats me with love and respect. I cut them both off and have no regrets. Good for you. Good for you. Do you know what? But you can be from a conservative family and still think gay is okay. Like, I believe in God. I don't think being gay is a sin. I consider myself politically conservative. I'm voting for Pierre Poilievre in the Canadian election. And there's nothing wrong with being gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay. I'm bisexual. There's nothing wrong with gay people getting married. There's not, like... It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like, there is middle ground. There's middle ground. Jubilee tells us so. Okay, I think I need to stop now because my blood pressure is rising and we want to have a good day off. So thank you so very much for joining us. Please like and subscribe. Take care, and until next time, be well. Bye!